friends. My name is Brooke, and I would love to rap at you for a couple minutes about essential oil quality. My background is in sustainable agriculture, so how plants are grown, especially when it comes to things that I'm ingesting, food, oils, absorbing through my skin, inhalation. It's very important to me to know that they were produced in a sustainable way for many reasons. Environmental impact is huge, as well as just pure quality. So there's certain things that an essential oil customer can observe about an oil to make the decision to give it a try, right? They can pick it up off the shelf, they can look at the color, you can open it up and smell it, you can compare prices, you can look at the labels and see what kind of claims are being made, but what you can't actually see or smell in a bottle of oil is the therapeutic, natural, molecular compounds that are present in that bottle. And that's going to be the value that is going to make an oil, quote unquote, work. Because as we know, oils perform differently in everyone's body. Being a natural compound and having so many molecules that work synergistically in your body tends to take what it needs from each of these oils and then do what it needs to do in order to bring your body back into a balance. So that's one reason why it's different from a pharmaceutical, for example, which just goes in and targets one protein and, equilibrium be damned, right? So I have made the choice to go the plant route, the natural medicine route when it comes to my health and my family's health. And so that's why quality and how things were grown is so important to me. So Young Living is the largest essential oil company in the world, and it really is a pioneer when it comes to distillation practices. Their methods have been copied all over the globe. They were the first food-grade oils on the planet. Because of their high quality, they're safe to ingest, most of them. I certainly wouldn't recommend ingesting anything else that you don't know what else is in that bottle. They produced the most oils on the planet, and their quality is really unsurpassed because that's what they choose to focus their energy on. I first got introduced to oils through Young Living, and being a thrifty mom, I decided to go out and do some comparison shopping like I do. And I bought some oils off eBay, I bought some off Amazon, I checked out some oils, in the local health food store, and essentially found that some work better than others, of course. And then I come to learn that the industry isn't regulated. So what may be labeled as pure 100% therapeutic grade, all they are required to put in that bottle is 5% pure oils. The rest can be cancer-causing agents. They can be chemical extenders, chemical solvents like hexane, which is a carcinogen. You can dilute it with things like alcohol and other solvents and other extenders. So really, you have to rely on the integrity of the company that you're buying from because it's unregulated. So it kind of falls on you to do your own research about how the oils you're consuming are getting produced. So that's what I'm here to talk to you a little bit about. So Young Living has this certification called C to Seal. That's one of their highest priorities. And what that means is they supervise the entire process of oil production from the seed, which on their farms they select their own seed. You select from the highest quality plants and you put those seeds aside for the next generation of growing, all the way to the seal, the bottle. So they supervise everything about the growing process in the field, everything about how that oil is distilled, everything about how it's tested and combined for blends, all the way into the finished product in the bottle. You can go and visit any of their farms across the globe where they grow the raw materials. You can open any door, you can talk to any employee, and they pride themselves on being transparent because in a competitive world of free market, one of the things that you have to do is to have your niche, right? And for them, the thing that is going to keep people coming back to them is quality. So that's what they're focusing their effort on. Other companies might choose to compete based on price. And so their product is going to be, as a result, a lower quality product that you may or may not want to actually put on your body. So when Young Living prepares to plant a crop, that land has to be totally virgin land, never touched by any chemicals. Then they put the heirloom crop in the ground, and as it grows, they don't use any kind of insecticide, herbicide, rodenticide, fungicide, anything like that. So there aren't going to be those chemical residues that build up and persist in soil ecosystems and in your body tissue. Talk about high levels of chemicals in breast milk. That's one big pervasive problem in our industrial food system, and as well as the things that we put on our body, beauty products, they all get absorbed into our bodies and held in our fatty tissues. That's sort of a whole nother topic, but if you're going to go the holistic route and use oils instead of straight pharmaceuticals, then if you're already making that shift in your mind, then go ahead and get an oil that you know is going to be free of all these chemicals, right? So we want to have the plant. We want to have it be therapeutic. We want it to be as planty as the plant can be by having the conditions right in the soil so it can produce the best, highest quality plant. And we also don't want to pollute the ecosystem by poor farming practices. We don't want to have poor practices with international trading and labor practices and hiring. All these things are under a microscope with Young Living, and their standards are very, very high when it comes to ethics, environment, quality. So there's lots of reasons why all this comes together into a beautiful product in a bottle. So when harvest time approaches on a Young Living farm, they'll send scientists out to the field every hour, sometimes for a couple weeks before harvest time, and they will do a micro distillery of a plant, sort of a sample of that field, and they'll bring the crop in only when it's at its peak. It's perfect mature peak where it's going to have the highest nutritional profile. Then they'll bring that whole crop in if it's day or night. Then all the farms have distilleries on site, so you don't have to transport the crop and lose quality in the transport process, the storage process, any of that. So when they distill, now Gary Young, the founder of Young Living, has spent over 2 decades finding the perfect way to distill each and every plant that goes into these oils. It's a low temperature steam distillation for most of them, and at the end of that distillation, when you have that oil, they test it to make sure that the therapeutic profile is within the range of what they want it to be. So for example, cypress has 288 naturally occurring, therapeutic compounds, chemical compounds in cypress. If you distill it 10 degrees too hot or 10 degrees too cool, then that resulting product has 11 therapeutic compounds. So it's really crucial to pay attention to the process of distillation. So they source the seed, they grow it, they distill it, they bottle it, all that good stuff. They have partner farms and they have their own farms all over the globe. And I mean, gosh, every month they're acquiring a new farm in a different continent so they can grow the plant where it grows best, where its native climate is, and then supervise the whole process. And then when they have their partner farms, all those farms are, they have to undergo the process to make sure they meet our standards with the way that we grow. And they have to agree. And then they have checks and balances, of course, to make sure that they meet those standards. So quality is very important. If you purchase or ingest or absorb oils that are made with conventionally grown plants, all of a sudden you're introducing a concentrated amount of chemical residue into your body. So, for example, it takes 60,000 rose blossoms just to make 1 ounce of rose oil. If those were all grown with chemicals, can you imagine the concentrated chemical residue that's in that resulting ounce of oil? That's not something that I plan to put anywhere near my body. I hope you don't either. Some oil companies use solvents like hexane to get a higher yield per harvest. Hexane has been banned in many countries around the world, but not in the US. And it's one of the solvents that's been directly linked to cancer, and it's found in many of your store-bought oils. And they're also typically diluted with 80 to 90% alcohol. So other companies do sell them more cheaply, yes. If you spray your crop with pesticides, you're going to have more of that crop to distill. If you use a solvent to extract that oil, you're going to pull more oil out. And then if you then, dilute that oil with a cheaper oil, you stretch that oil out and have more to sell. So oils are sold more cheaply because the companies cut corners, and you are the one that has to suffer for those corners being cut when you get your product. You might have spent less money, but what you get is not going to be therapeutic for you or your body. So I was just really impressed with the way that they grow, their practices. They hand weed, they essentially farm organically. They fertilize with worm castings, which is my favorite way to fertilize because it's a living substance. So when you have a living soil, because you're adding living fertilizers to your soil, then that plant has the ability to be as nutritious as it possibly can. So those are the kinds of plants that I want making up my essential oils. And now you have a little bit more information, and hopefully you can use that to make a decision for what's right for you. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, my email is brookamy369@gmail.com, or you can just refer to the website, the Royals website, ROILS, and people will answer your questions most definitely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.